Good evening, friends. Welcome to my YouTube channel Summarised Learning with Diya. Please press the bell icon to subscribe my channel and also like, share and comment. Today we will discuss the fundamentals of environmental studies. The topics which we will discuss today are what is environment, the types of environment, concept of physical environment, nature of physical environment, its components and the importance of environmental studies. So without further delay, we will straight away start with the definition of environment. So the definition of environment, according to scientist C.C. Park, environment refers to the sum total of conditions which surrounds man at a given point of time. So what is it? What is environment? It is the combination of all the plants and animals and all the non-living bodies which are living in an area together surrounding a person. It can also be defined as a collective activity of all living and non-living elements that influence the human life. So all these factors, these living beings and non-living beings, they are influencing the human life directly. What are the living elements that we are talking about? They are all the biotic factors like the animals, plants, microorganisms, etc. And the non-living elements are all the abiotic factors like soil, land, air, water, etc. So we are coming to the next topic, that is types of environment. There are two types of environment that we know. One is physical environment, that is the hill, land, forest, water, etc. That is the nature surrounding us. And the second type of environment is cultural or man-made environment, that is our society, our locality, the colonies, economic environment, political environment, etc. All these are environments. So what is the concept of physical environment? Physical environment refers to that environment which is completely natural and not man-made. It is made by God or nature. It includes the living and non-living beings which existed before human beings came into existence. For instance, hills, plants, lands, forests, water, air, etc., which was there before any other organism came into being. And what is this cultural or man-made environment? As the name suggests, this environment is completely created by human beings. That is, for instance, the economic and political conditions, living facilities of a particular area, etc. So without further ado, we'll just proceed to the nature of physical environment. So what we can say, that the physical environment is always changing. It is not stagnant. It has changed a lot since the birth of the earth and is changing at a regular basis due to different causes. The causes may be natural, like landslides are happening due to heavy rainfalls which are destroying the hills. Soil erosion is happening because of floods and the flowing water of rivers. Earthquakes are happening due to the movement of tectonic plates, etc. Then there are some volcanic activities are happening. All these are natural causes which we cannot control. And in some cases, the causes which are changing the environment depends on our activities, the activities of human beings. For instance, what we are seeing is that this global warming. Take global warming for example. This global warming is happening due to the greenhouse effect, and this greenhouse effect is happening due to the release of the greenhouse gases like methane, carbon dioxide, and some oxides of nitrogen, which are basically the product of human activities. Okay, now we are coming to the physical environment components. What makes up the physical environment? There are three main components which make up our physical environment. One is the abiotic or non-living component. Second is the biotic or living component, and the third is energy component. So what is this abiotic component? As we have said earlier, abiotic components are the non-living components. So we can classify these abiotic components into three states: the solid, liquid, and gaseous state. So the solid component of the physical environment of the earth is known as the lithosphere. What is the lithosphere? It is the outermost part of the earth, that is the crust. It is the earth's crust. It is situated above the mantle and the core, and made up of silica and aluminium. So we, in a short form, we call it the Cl layer. The depth of the lithosphere, it varies. From the ocean bed, it is only 5 kilometers deep, whereas it is about 35 kilometers deep from the continental surface. So this is the lithosphere, the solid physical component of the earth. Next comes the hydrosphere, which is the liquid abiotic component of the earth. The hydrosphere means the total amount of water that is existing on the earth. It occupies about almost 72% of the earth's surface. So how is the hydrosphere distributed? There is 97.2% in the world's oceans. The drinkable water is a mere 0.625%. Rivers and lakes contain 0.024%. Polar ice caps contain 2.150%, and condensation, that is the water vapor in the atmosphere, it is 0.001% only. So mainly it is saline water. Water comes to the earth's surface from the atmosphere and returns to the atmosphere through the hydrological water cycle. Now this water cycle is extremely important. If it consists of 5 steps. The first is evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and runoff. It consists of 4 steps. So it is a continuous process. If one of these phenomenon gets stopped or hindered, the water cycle will stop, and which in turn will affect the human life. So this is a graphical representation of the hydrological or water cycle. See what we are seeing. There is the continent, there is a runoff, and to the ocean there is always also runoff. So from the ocean, the sun's rays are evaporating the water into water vapor, and it is going to the atmosphere through convection. Over there in the atmosphere, it is undergoing condensation, and then in the form of rain, snow, hails, it is coming down as precipitation to the continent. This water is again running off to the oceans through rivers, lakes, ponds, and again this cycle is continuing. So we are coming to the next thing. The next physical component of our environment is the atmosphere. So what is this atmosphere? It is the gaseous state. It is a gaseous envelope that surrounds the earth. It helps all the living organisms to breathe. It prevents the UV rays coming from the sun from reaching the earth, and it also helps to trap the heat so that our earth remains warm. The atmosphere is extended up to 10,000 kilometers from the surface of the earth. Above that, there is no atmosphere, it is space. So this atmosphere consists of three main elements. Under the gaseous elements, there are nitrogen of 78.08%, oxygen of 20.94%, argon 0.93%, carbon dioxide 0.03%, and neon and helium comprises of 0.003%. The second element is water vapor. This water vapor is one of the important elements of the water cycle. The third element is atmospheric aerosol. What is this atmospheric aerosol? They are tiny particles of solids and liquids that are present there in the air. For example, we can say the dust particles, there are ash particles, water particles are condensed as small, very small particles. All these, there can be pollen grains, etc. So now we are coming to the different layers of atmosphere. Now this atmosphere is divided into many layers. First, we'll learn about two types of layers, that is, one is homosphere and the other is heterosphere. What is this homosphere? Homosphere is the lower part of the atmosphere, which is extended up to 90 kilometers from the surface of the earth. Why is this called homosphere? Because the chemical composition of gases are more or less uniform in this layer. So it is called homosphere. The second one is heterosphere. It is situated above the homosphere. In this layer, the gaseous items, the composition of gaseous items, it varies. It extends from the homosphere up to 10,000 kilometers. So from this heterosphere can be divided into 4 layers depending upon the chemical composition. The first one is the hydrogen layer. This layer, it extends from 3,500 kilometers to 10,000 kilometers from the Earth's surface. The main element found here is atomic hydrogen. Hence the name is hydrogen layer. The second layer is helium layer. This layer extends from 100 kilometers from the Earth's surface up to the hydrogen layer. The main element found here is helium gas. Number 3 is the atomic oxygen layer. This layer extends from 200 kilometers up to 1000 kilometers from the Earth's surface. The main element is oxygen. The fourth is nitrogen layer. This layer extends from 90 kilometers up to 200 kilometers from the Earth's surface. The main element is nitrogen. Now the atmosphere can be further classified into 6 layers depending on the temperature. First is the troposphere. Now the troposphere is the lowest layer of the atmosphere, extending up to 5 to 20 kilometers from the surface of the earth. We live in the troposphere actually. So almost all the water vapor and aerosol are found in troposphere. Clouds are also found. The troposphere is responsible for all types of weather. The middle region of troposphere and stratosphere, that is the meeting point or the boundary, as you can say, it is known as the tropopause. Now the second layer is stratosphere. It is located above the troposphere. It extends up to 50 kilometers above the troposphere. There is no water vapor in this layer, and this layer is responsible for preventing the UV rays from reaching the Earth's surface, because the upper portion of this layer contains the ozone layer. The middle region of this stratosphere and the mesosphere, the meeting point or the boundary, is known as the stratopause. All the aeroplanes they fly through this stratosphere. Now the third layer is the mesosphere, which extends up to 80 kilometers above the stratosphere. In this layer, the temperature decreases as the height increases. The meteors, or which are entering the Earth's atmosphere from the outer space, they are destroyed in this layer. The middle region, the meeting point of ionosphere and mesosphere, is known as mesopoles. Now the fourth layer is the ionosphere or thermosphere, which extends up to 500 kilometers above the mesosphere. In this layer, the temperature rises very rapidly. The atmosphere is ionized by the solar and cosmic radiation, which results in the auroras, which we see in the northern hemisphere. We see in Norway, Sweden, in these countries, and it is known as aurora borealis. And in the southern hemisphere, we see the aurora as aurora australis, which are seen in New Zealand and all those countries. So this layer also helps to conduct the radio signals. Now coming to the fifth layer, that is the exosphere, which extends up to 750 kilometers above the thermosphere. Mainly helium and hydrogen gases are found in this layer. And the sixth layer, that is the magnetosphere, it is the last layer of the atmosphere, which is surrounded by magnetic fields of proton and electron, and beyond this it is only this vast space. So I have explained what is this lithosphere, what is this hydrosphere, and what is this atmosphere. Now we are coming to this portion, that what is the importance of environment studies? Why do we need to learn or study the environment? The first thing that is we need to know about environment studies, which environment studies teaches us, is that we learn how to maintain the ecological balances. The next step is that it helps us to increase awareness about environment, and it also helps us to identify the current environmental problems and also try to find out the remedies and how we can prevent these problems. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please subscribe and press the bell icon. See you in the next video, and if there's anything you want to add or you want to comment, please write in the comment box, and if there is any questions, we'll happy to answer you. Thank you. Goodbye.